Hello everyone, it's the 49th Gunner again, back with a not so fantastic result, losing 3-1, bowing out of the League Cup to West Ham. I actually didn't catch the first half. I saw the highlights of the first half because I was working, but from what I saw of the first half, sort of highlights, I just got back to the house, back in sort of as the second half was just about to start, and it seemed like a very even game. A few chances. I know Nketiah missed a chance that he maybe should have done a bit better with. But yeah, it seemed generally like a pretty even contest by the own goal. Unfortunate by Ben White. Ben White's headed it in, and certainly not the, it's never great to see an own goal go in, of course, but it's, Ben's been fantastic for us, and I love Ben White. You trust him in that back four every single week. Same as you would, Tomiyasu or Saliba, any of the players. And Ben White was just unfortunate in that case. I think he may have thought he was in a slight different position than he was in. But yeah, it was a shame. I think I watched the second half, and I'll be honest, the West Ham players, I'm not going to be the kind of fan that's just going to moan. Obviously, West Ham are never going to be my favourite team or many Arsenal fans' favourite team, but they played well. Paqueta played really well. Kudus played really well. His goal when they took it to 2-0 was fantastic. Great turn, and great turn by Kudus, and he's just smashed it into the left corner. Great control. Paqueta on the left wing for them. He looked fantastic for the whole game. We brought Rice on about 70 minutes in. Martinelli and Saka came on together, but it was a bit too late. Odegaard came on as well, but it was a bit too late for them to really do anything too much. Odegaard scored literally with the last kick of the game to make it 3-1. But yeah, there was a good save initially by Ramsdale, but West Ham from the off of the second half were putting pressure on right from the start. Ramsdale managed to sort of deflect a pretty good shot out with his hand, and then Ben White had to sort of rush up and pretty much near enough clear the ball, not quite off the line, but, he had to sort of hit it out for a corner from a bit of an annoying angle. But yeah, the second goal, Kudus' second goal was quality, and Paqueta on the left wing looked absolutely fantastic. He was doing like little skills, he was showboating to the fans, and it's understandable. Obviously, the fans are going to want to see that. A very mixed reaction for Rice as well. There was a lot of talk about the cheering on, from the commentary, but obviously certain hand gestures from the fans. I saw certain West Ham fans doing the hand gestures. Football's a very fickle sport, and there was certainly a lot of booing. Every time Rice was on the ball, there were a lot of boos. I'd understand it sort of if it was a bit, if he sort of had put a half effort in, when he played with them, but he was absolutely fantastic for West Ham, and he was an absolute brilliant member of their squad when he was there, much as he is with us now, so I think that's kind of disrespectful, kind of unnecessary, but it is kind of the standard thing in football. It's always going to happen, so my voice certainly isn't going to make a difference to that kind of thing. But yeah, towards the end, I mean, we were wasteful with shots, so we had chipped a few in. There were no one getting on the end of them. There were a couple of sort of moves around the wing that were just dying out. The defending from West Ham was absolutely fantastic, to be fair. They played a great physical game, defended well. They were on every ball. In between every sort of long shot into the Arsenal players, they were on the ball. You can tell that they're desperate for another bit of silverware. And I think if they can maintain that kind of performance, obviously, in other stadiums, it wouldn't be quite as easy for them. I think they stand a good chance of doing well in the competition. So shame. It's just a shame that, I mean, physically we weren't in it. Bringing Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli on, it seemed almost kind of like a waste. I saw a comment on Facebook saying about how it seems a bit risky to be bringing players on when you're 3-0 down. You're not going to win. Why bring the first team players on? And you can look at that from a few ways, you know, to try and get a bit of a battle back, a few goals back against West Ham. You know, only playing sort of 20 minutes of football, Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard. But I kind of see the point of the Facebook post, really. The Newcastle game, we need to get this one completely and utterly out of our system. Hopefully Arteta's got some magical training sessions planned ahead for the boys if they're going to be sort of coming back from that. I know, like I say, we didn't start with our strongest squad today, so it, you know, it could be worse. Ben White was unfortunate, and it could have been a 2-1, but West Ham still very much deserved it. You know, they played their hearts out. They defended brilliantly. They were physically the better team. They were they looked a threat every time they moved forward. They looked like they had ideas. They looked like they were putting a lot of plans that have been worked through training in motion. You know, you can tell that their training drills that they've been doing have been paying off. So didn't really make much of James Ward-Prowse, but Jared Bowen played really well for them. The defence as a collective, I won't name individual players, they were all defensively sound, you know, closing down. There was a point at the end where Saka had a throw in. He had a throw in. Ben White had come up and Saka took the throw into Ben. Ben tried to play it into Saka and they were just completely and utterly closed down. And yeah, I think the West Ham players are certainly going to sleep well tonight because fair play to them. Yeah, we march on anyway. An unfortunate result, but I think today the better team won regardless to how any Arsenal fan wants to look at it. I might get some stick for saying that, but the facts are the facts. We didn't play as we should have. We didn't really look like we had the tempo of West Ham throughout. Certainly all of the game I saw, you know, regardless of the first half. And the second half is as important as the first. So it's a big shame, but we got Newcastle next. So let's hope we can brush that one off and pick it up a bit. Like I say, we'll have Saka, Martinelli starting. And we'll, you know, I don't know if Jesus and Partey will be back yet. But I think with that loss, sometimes a loss, you know, can, because we've been unbeaten all season. So a loss, you know, not in the Premier League, obviously, but in the League Cup, still got our unbeaten Premier League season to continue. And Tottenham have been doing a bit too well for my liking as well. So hopefully we can keep reminding them, you know, what colour London is. And yeah, let's be optimistic. Let's be positive. It's a shame. And people say a lot of things about the League Cup, but it's silverware. And like I say, I would have just liked to have been able to get my boy to another game. I'm a bit too anxious to take him to away games. It's a sort of paranoid dad thing, but I'm a bit too nervy about taking him to away games yet, you know. But like I say, so I think many a parent would be the same if they're going on their own. But yeah, it's not to be. There's always next season, you know. We might do well in the FA Cup this season. We've got that to look forward to. The Champions League still alive. We're still, you know, very much in that, and we're still very much in the running early, you know, the top 4 teams for the Premier League. To, you know, if we can keep doing well in the Prem, then hopefully we can still pick up another little bit of silverware. But the League Cup is not going to be ours this season. Ah, well. Come on, you Gunners, regardless. Let's hope we get a good result on the weekend. Let's keep positive. Shame, but that's football. Thank you for watching. I've been the 49th Gunner. Like and subscribe, comment if you want, and it's always welcomed. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.